everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Jennifer, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Dior Fall Collection. I have two of the items. I have the 889 Reflection, spelled with an X, eyeshadow quint, and I have the new mascara. I'm also going to be showing you the new Hourglass foundation in a different shade than I've already used. I did end up picking up the 2.5. And I picked up the new brush. So we will have a whole bunch of newness today. Also, this is going to be one of the salty Saturday videos. Hey, you guys asked for it. You said you liked it, so we're going to continue in that vein today. It is 100 degrees as I film and 80 degrees in my studio, and that's why my face is so red. Because I have rosacea and because my skin is very pale, I'm very sensitive to the heat. And when it's 80 degrees inside, this is what my face looks like. You should see me outside. So we'll go ahead and get into all of this, and I will talk about things that are currently on my mind and make it appropriate for a Salty Saturday video. I will also say that the heat, I think, is contributing to my salty attitude. As I've mentioned many times, I do not do well in the heat. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the Hourglass, and then we'll jump right into the Dior. I did a video, and I hopefully will remember to link it, but I'm not going to count on that. The new Hourglass Ambient Foundation. I bought it in 3 Neutral. The thing about Hourglass, and I've asked actually a couple of different makeup artists and beauty retailers that have told me that Hourglass seems to always run yellow, which I think NARS does as well. So that a 3 Neutral is going to be more yellow leaning. So I did pick up the 2.5. I also checked out the 1.5. The 1.5 is too light for me, but it definitely is the coolest that I've seen. The 2. If you're pale, like if you're in my range, the 2.5 is more of like a peach. It's not necessarily like pink. I think it actually will be fine, or I hope it will be. But it was definitely lighter and more, the undertone was more appropriate for my skin tone. And maybe I'll give the 3 to a friend, or I'll figure it out. But there's the 3, there's the 2.5. So you can see the undertone is definitely more peach with the 2.5 than the 3. It's definitely yellow. What I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna put that on, I'm gonna put that all over my face. Like I said, I've already done a video about the foundation and what I think about it. Do I think it's bad? No, I think it's fine. It's not my favorite foundation. I feel like it's a little bit problematic for my skin because it's so dry, but it's not like, it's not bad. What I mean by that is I do just sort of see my pores a little bit more with this foundation. But I bought the Lancome one as well, so I'm going to do a video with the Lancome versus the Hourglass. I saw that Michelle Wong did one, and so did Risa from Risa Does Makeup. And I'm not copying them, but I did notice that they did them. I didn't watch yet because I don't want to influence my thoughts. But so obviously there are some similarities to these two foundations since people are using them side by side. So let's go ahead and put this all over the face. Like I said, this is the 2.5. And really, you know, this I don't think will be any different than the other video I did, just to say that the shade is right. I don't think I will have a totally different experience just because it's got a different shade. I think the formulation is nice, but I feel like for really dry skin, I don't know, there's something about it that seems to emphasize the dryness just a little bit. The brush, I really like. It's a very dense, very soft brush. It does remind me a lot of the Rare Beauty brush, very similar in shape and in density, and I love the Rare Beauty brush, so, you know, not a surprise that I like this one. So let's go ahead and put it on the face, get rid of all the redness because of the heat, and then we'll jump right to the Dior. Okay, we're back. We're gonna get into the Dior. I just wanna mention what I have on my face. I did put the Hourglass foundation on. I have a little bit of Chanel bronzer in medium. I have brows done, and I have the new Suqqu blush highlighter on my face. This is the Pure Color blush. This is in 133, I think. Let me just double check. 133, which is part of the fall limited edition. These blushes, the color blushes, are sort of a blush slash highlighter. You can use them as separate, like you can just focus it on the blush and then focus it on the highlighter. I blended it together, put it on the face. It is beautiful. Suqqu always does a beautiful job. I am gonna have a Suqqu fall video coming up, but I just wanted to use it today while we're doing this. I'm gonna put on some Rare Beauty. This is Wise liner. I used this liner during my trip, my conference that I was at for the last week, and it was 100 degrees, well, it was in the 90s every day there, and I had very long days, and it did not fail me. So these liners, I will be picking up more shades of the Rare Beauty liners because they did an excellent job. All right, so let's dive into Dior, shall we? Let's take a look at this quint. Now the green one, we're calling it the green one, I think it's Mirror Mirror or something like that. It was not available on the Dior website when this one went up. It is available at Selfridges as I film this. I'm sure it will be available at Dior and lots of other places very soon. And I will get into I have a couple issues today to be irritated about, but let's talk a little bit about the quint first. Okay, so this is Reflection 889. As you can see, the color that's holding everything together in the middle is red. It's a pretty true red as far as I can tell. The thing that looks most like it to me is red tartan. Of the two, of the quints that I have, looks fairly familiar, fairly similar. I don't think it'll be exact, but we'll see. Rouge Trafalgar looks eerily similar. And then I think everyone's is gonna ask about Mitza. And what I would say about Mitza is I think is actually a different color story. I think it's similar, don't get me wrong, but I think Mitza looks a lot like Silk Earth. And when I did the video, you can see how close to Silk Earth it really is, especially on the eye. But I think, we're about to find out, I think this one is going to be more of a combination between Rouge Trafalgar and Red Tartan, but we'll find out because we'll swatch them and we'll see what we think. So let's swatch Reflection first, and we'll talk a little bit about why, one of the things that I'm annoyed with this week. You guys wanted it, so here you go, you're gonna get it. So the first thing is, we're going to start seeing, and we've already started to see, the fall releases. You know, we've started seeing stuff pop up. And I feel like it's some kind of like game about what you're going to see, where you're going to see it, and what price it might actually be. For those of you who don't know, when this Dior popped up, it was $44 on the Dior website, which is not the usual price. The usual price is, I think, $65. So if we were able to get it when it was posted, you got it for $44, which I'm pretty sure Dior didn't mean to do, but there was never a statement from Dior saying that it was a mistake. Okay, so that's the new one. That's Reflection. So I did buy it from Dior because I was just like, let's do Red Tartan next. I was like, well, you know, I might as well. Since it's, you know, so much cheaper, let's get it and see what happens. I know a lot of people don't like ordering from Dior because Dior makes all kinds of mistakes, but I will say in this case, they did at least get it to me quickly. As far as I can tell, there's no incorrect name on it, although, you know, who knows. But there was, of course, this weird mishap with the price and the fact that one quint was available and the other quint was not, the green one, right? So that in and of itself, I'm not mad about, because I'm just like, well, I got it for a reduced price. Okay, so there is red tartan. So I think we could say those two are quite similar. They're not exact, but the only color difference that I can see is this one has like a pinkish shimmer and this one has a golden shimmer. Otherwise, that looks almost identical to me. Now, I think Rouge Trafalgar is going to be far pinker, but we'll see. We'll swatch it here. So that in and of itself was, you know, like I said, annoying, but okay. What's irritating me about the launches and I feel like it's like a game of whack-a-mole. You know what whack-a-mole is? You know, one thing pops up and you hit it, and then the next thing pops up and you hit it, or you try to. And you're just trying to hop all over the place, catching up with everything. And I feel like that the companies that are releasing these know very well that that's Rouge Trafalgar. So definitely more pink. It doesn't have the same color story. The red's the same pretty much, but red tartan looks almost identical. All right, let's do Mitza, and then we'll put it on the eye. So I feel like what companies are doing with these like release dates and with releasing like some of the items but not all of the items, or not saying when things are going to come out, and then, you know, it pops up at Selfridges, or it pops up at Nordstrom, or it pops up in store and not, okay, that is Mitza. I think Mitza has some similarities, but I really think it's these two that look alike, except for these two shades. Those are the differentiators to me. I definitely will tell you that they are all pigmented though, because they stain your hand really well. Yeah, I would say that the red tartan is probably the closest, which is interesting because that was one of the velvets. And they do have the Dior's on this, which I do like. That's why this is named Reflection and the other one is Mirror Mirror, because as you put it in the mirror, you can see Dior, which I guess is, you know, that's cool. It's a gimmick, but you know, I do like it. But here's the thing. There's no clear indication from anyone when these things are going to launch, how they're going to launch, where they're going to be, if they're limited edition, and what does that actually mean. And so there's this sense that you have to get everything quickly because it could be gone. Because, you know, I remember when I worked for Chanel, it was very clear when we were getting like the fall collection or the winter collection or the spring collection. It was very clear. And unless something bizarre happened, you had dates. Now I understand supply chain. I understand there's a lot of things that have happened over the last years. I got that. But I'm pretty sure by now they have a better understanding of the timelines that are involved with all these launches. And I feel like they do it so that when it comes out, or wherever it comes out, you buy it immediately because you're, quote, afraid that it won't be available later. And so you don't wait. Like, there were things that I remember back in the day that I really wanted, but I couldn't afford, and I waited for them to go on sale, and they always went on sale. Or if it was something super limited edition, that was made very clear to me from the person I shopped with at Nordstrom or Chanel or whatever it was. They'd be like, hey, look, there's 10 of these, just so you know. Like, it was very clear. Now, if you ask the SAs, half the time they don't even know. And it's not their fault. They're not told. Like, literally, they don't know. So I feel like there's this created FOMO that goes on because you're like, well, I have to buy it now because if I don't buy it now, it might not exist later. And then it turns out that it usually does exist and it's gone on sale and everything's fine. Or it's completely disappeared and you never get it again and you really wanted it. So I take, for example, the Charlotte Tilbury Fire Rose. First of all, I never knew that was coming. Then it came. I did buy it because I had the channel and I was going to review it for you guys. And then it disappeared and never came back. Like, it was gone almost immediately. There was a Dior quint the same way, which I cannot remember the name of right now. Pink something. I'll put it down below. But the point is, it came out, it disappeared. Like it was available in December or January, and then it didn't exist again. So it's so irregular that you can't really know. And that I find incredibly aggravating. Now, I understand that companies are going to do whatever is best for the company for their sales, right? So if it creates some sense of, urgency upon people to buy their products, they're not going to change that. I got that. But I think it also is going to eventually, if not alienate, irritate a lot of their buyers, because there's not that many of me, content creator type person out there. There are obviously many, but that's not the majority of the people that are buying their makeup. They're not buying this much makeup for themselves, generally. Most people are buying, one palette because that's their color story and that's what they like. Or, a couple lipsticks or whatever. They're not buying the entire collection every time because it doesn't make sense for them to do that. Things go bad. I don't even do that, and I'm trying to show you a wide variety of things. So I feel like they're maybe not paying attention to the fact that numbers are going down about what people are buying. And I reference the Suqqu collection, which I absolutely love. By the way, the fall collection is lovely. Suqqu actually does a pretty good job of saying this is what's coming out and when. The problem is in the United States, it's really hard to get. So there's an issue there. But I will tell you, at least you have dates. At least it's available at Selfridges on this date. It's available at Liberty London Harrods on this date. And although there's been sometimes that it's released a little bit early on the site or something, but there are specific dates and timelines. A lot of the fall collection for Suqqu is still available on Selfridges. And I can tell you, 2 years ago, when I tried to get limited edition items, they sold out immediately. So I don't think that's just unique to Suqqu. I think Chanel has seen that. I think Dior has seen that. I think a lot of brands have seen that. I think that they're starting to realize that people are like, this is irritating. You tell me that it's going to be super limited edition, and then it's, around 6 months later and it's half off. Yeah, I'm going to stop believing what you say. Or I'm going to get irritated with the fact that you don't say anything and things just drop overnight. That's really, at the price point that we're talking about, that's just ridiculous. And, it occurred to me because I was talking to some people that I met. I was out in Denver for my conference, met some great people, and I'll have their names up in future videos that I think you'll all want to get to know. But you're not even telling your SAs. You're not even telling the people that are responsible for the sales of your products the details. And I really don't understand that. When I was trained by Chanel for the upcoming season, we had a whole training session. We had specific days. We had times of training to figure out how to use the makeup or the skincare. It was very clear and it was very planned. And we had a very specific date and timeline for everything. And that just doesn't seem to be the case. I hope it's just a temporary thing and it's because of, supply chain, pandemic and all of that. But I'm not so sure. I wonder if the brands are just well, we'll just drop things overnight and it will get this, people get all excited and buy it immediately. If that's it, that's insulting. So, I'm going to hope that it's not that, but it certainly feels that way because, Dior, we didn't have a timeline. Now it's sort of available somewhere, some places, but not other places. Chanel, the tweeds, guys, I've had those tweeds, the videos that I will eventually put up when they go live. They're going to go live, by the way, September 1st at Nordstrom. I've had them up since December, I think, or January. I've had them for 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, 8 months. And it literally has been, when are they coming out? Oh, I don't know. Could be next month. Could be next month. Now, again, maybe it was a supply chain issue, but just say, look, it's going to be 6 months or whatever. The fall collection, the new fall collection, Chanel, the Intensity, I just put up the eyeshadow quad, but the collection is available in Canada. It's not available in the US, and I've asked my SA when it's coming, and she's not sure. Now, maybe she's been told to say that. It's entirely possible. But I don't think that's it. I really don't. People need to budget. You need to have an idea of what you're going to spend and when. if you have no idea when something's coming out and it's something that you really want, most people can't just spend whatever they want whenever they want. Or at least that's, in my opinion, that's the case. So it would behoove the companies to be like, hey, this is coming out this time period, so you can budget for that. And so yeah, I'm irritated. On that note, I did find that Tom Ford will have some cool stuff coming out. They seem to have at least a timeline. Chanel Fall, like I said, September 1, which is great for the fall collection. Tweeds, again, will be coming. I'm pretty sure Guerlain will be at Nordstrom soon. Some stores have already gotten it, but I haven't seen it on the website yet. But maybe that will pop up by the time this video goes up. But that's what I'm kind of, I mean, I know I'm ranting here, but I just feel like there's no clarity or consistency to any of this. And I just find that really irritating, frankly infuriating. And I know for all of you who are interested in like purchasing things, it creates this sense that you need to get it right away and you're spending money that maybe you don't necessarily want to spend or have the ability to spend, and then feel kind of cheated when it goes on sale for 50% off or whatever. And I get that. So I'm really hoping the brands get it together. And I don't think it's just one brand. I mean, this is not just Dior's problem, although Dior has issues, but I think this is across the board with high-end and luxury brands. Definitely. Okay, I'm gonna put this eye makeup on. I'm gonna use the lightest shade in here first, just to kind of put down a little bit of a very light transition between the two shades, because I think this is gonna look a little bit like red tartan on me, and I didn't love that look. I mean, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't my favorite. So I'm gonna kind of lighten it up by putting a little bit of a lighter shade down first. I just want to say that all of you out there who are watching, whether you have subscribed yet or not, and you know, as I've said before, if you like my content, please subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. You are literally the best. Now, I know every content creator says the people that watch them, their subscribers are the best, but you guys are totally the best. I've asked for a lot of feedback lately about, you know, what you'd like to see and how I should allocate my time on YouTube versus like other platforms and stuff. And the reason I do that is because I really do feel it's important to get your feedback into what you'd like to see, because you're the ones watching. I want to provide content that you like in the manner that you like and that you can consume, if I can. I mean, I can't always do exactly, you know, what I want to do, but I would like to meet your expectations. How's that? And one of the things I asked about was the monthly fan club, or whatever you want to call it. The reason I brought that up is because I get a lot of individual customizable kinds of questions, as in, I have the following. You know, deep, warm-colored undertone skin with green eyes and black hair. What lipstick should I buy? Those types of questions, and like, how should I put on my lipstick, and how should I do my eyes, and all of these things. I want to be able to answer all of those specifics, but I just don't have the time to do it one by one. It just can't. There's literally hundreds that come in. So what I was thinking, there's only a couple options. You either do a consulting service, which makeup artists do all the time, and you charge whatever you charge. Some charge, you know, a couple $100 to $1,000, depending on who you are, for that type of service, for consulting, for a one-on-one. But I recognize that inflation is bad and times are difficult, and I don't really want to go in that direction, at least not now. So what I thought was we could spread the cost and basically have like a monthly thing and have a live tutorial where you could ask your specific questions and I could try to do it live for you, as in, my eyes are this way, could you show me how to do that? And that way it wouldn't be very expensive for everybody, and everyone could ask their individual questions. And I know, you know, other content creators do things like that as well. And so that, I don't know if I'm gonna do that. I actually, thank you so much for the feedback. There are a number of you that are interested in having me do that. This is plans for the future, so we'll see. One, I'd have to figure out how to make that work, and you know, what I'd want to do, and make sure I could do it monthly and all those good things. So I appreciate all the feedback for that. And the YouTube versus Instagram versus TikTok, yes, I am gonna try to spend more time on TikTok if I can, because there are a lot of people who are over there. So I'm gonna try to spend some time, but what I'm gonna try to do is incorporate things into these videos, these YouTube videos that I do, that I can then piece out, pull out, and put over on Instagram and TikTok. For example, today, in using this new Reflexion quint, I'm gonna show you what you should do if you're interested in making your eye look bigger, not elongated. There are different styles depending, of course, on how your eye shape is, but these are general tutorial things that I think will help most people. And I will do something on like what you'd want if you wanted to do elongated. Maybe I'll do that with the Pat McGrath palette. And then with the Suqqu palette, I'll do something else. And the same with the blushes, and to lift your face, to if you have a wide face, all that. So I'm gonna try to incorporate those things into the reviews that I do of the new makeup, and then pull them out and have something on Instagram and TikTok for that. So hopefully that will be helpful. We'll see how that works. So in trying to make your eyes bigger, there's two basic things. One, you want to put a line on the top line of your eye that's deeper, darker. Black usually works for most people. And you don't want to draw the line out too far, because again, you're not trying to elongate the eye, trying to make the eye look bigger. On the lower lash line, you should do something like a nude or a white in the inner lash line. So I'm going to do that today. And I'll also show you, when I'm using the shades, what I'm trying to do to emphasize the eye and make it look bigger. So we did the lightest shade first, like that. And we will take the lighter shade and put it up into the brow bone later, but let's just start with this. So the second thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take the brown shade, and with a more narrow brush, I'm going to try to emphasize the crease. Now, if your eyes are hooded, make sure you look ahead, and that when you do this, when you're emphasizing the crease, you can see the shade. So what that means is, if your eye kind of folds over, you're going to want to draw a crease, not where the bone is, but where the skin is when you look forward and you see it. Because what you're doing is you're making that area recede. The deeper shade makes it recede. And what that does is it tricks the eye, or the person who's looking at you, their eye, into thinking that that part of your eye has been pushed back. And that gives an aesthetically pleasing shape to your eye. It will also round out your eye. If you want something that's going to elongate, and I will do that in another video, you're going to want to do something more like the swirl that I did when I used the Silk Earth. So now you can see when I do this, see how already like your eyes pop a little bit more? Because you have this deep crease here, and then you have the lighter shade showing. So you have lid space when your eye is open that looks lighter, crease space. If you're looking in the mirror and you put the crease space, like you pull up your eye or whatever, your skin, and put it where your actual bone, like underneath that bone, but you open your eyes and you can't see it, it won't do you any good. What will happen is it will just look deep, it will look dark, and that's not going to give you the effect that you want. So you want to keep the area that's on your lid lighter, and whatever is like where that crease should be, whether the skin is hanging down or over it, just make sure that that shows when you're looking straight at somebody. Now I'm just going back and forth and kind of pulling it a little bit up so that you don't have like just a blank space above that. There's really not a lot of shade there, but there's a little bit of something. Okay, again, I would also recommend using smaller brushes. Don't use a huge puffy brush. There's nothing wrong with huge puffy brushes, I like them, but if you're working with a limited space and you're trying to get a specific look, it's better to use a smaller brush and either press or like be more specific and take your time. Just trust me, it will turn out better. All right, so let's take what I would say is more of like the cranberry shade, and we're just gonna place it on the outer corner of the eye here, not too far off the lid. So again, if you wanted to elongate, you would be putting it out much further. This is actually on the mobile lid. It's in in bounds, if you will. It's not out here, okay? Again, if you're trying to elongate it out here, then you're gonna put something out here. You're gonna keep this within your eyebrows, or where your eyebrows should be. So I just used a little bit of that cranberry, not a lot. Still looking forward, you can see this area right here is lighter than the rest of it. Okay, now we're gonna take that orangey shade, like a brick, and we're gonna go very carefully over that brown that's in the crease, but we're gonna go a little bit lower. Instead of where it was like straight ahead and it was up above, we're gonna go a little bit more towards the mobile lid, but in that crease shape. So it's a little bit underneath the brown. Then we're gonna take the lightest shade, the gold, which we had before, that we used, and we're gonna concentrate that on the inner corner of the eye, and then on this area in the middle. We're gonna blend it out this way. So you're making sure that the mobile lid part of your eye and the inner corner of your eye is the lightest, okay? And what that does is it makes the lid area seem bigger, and then it pushes back that area above it, giving you a nice rounded shape and opening up your eye. The red shade I'm gonna use very little of because I don't look good in red. Now, if you're somebody who has a much deeper skin tone and you look really fabulous in red, do exactly what I did, except use more of the red in the mix of the shades that you're putting on. Like I said, I don't look particularly good in red, so I don't use a lot of it. I use more of the orange and browns in this palette, but you can certainly use more of that if it's a shade that's flattering for you. It's not particularly flattering for me. It's not bad, it's just, I look better with the browns and the oranges and not as much of the red. Okay, so if you look at the look on my eye, you can see that the shades are in the crease, a little bit on the outer corner, and lightness on the lid as much as possible. That's gonna open up your eye as much as anything with shadow. What I'm gonna show you with the liner is what's gonna really make it different than elongation of your eye. So one thing I would say is always put on a little bit of, you know, if you're not exactly sure what your look is gonna be like or whatever, you can always put on more and then take it off, like I just did, relatively easily. It doesn't take a lot. And you can just use some micellar water or Cogendo spa water or whatever you want, or frankly, practically nothing, and just like a little bit of foundation or whatever it is. And you can, you know, take off the excess. Again, if you're looking for more of a wing, a lifted look, I would still have the shadow kind of go up a little bit at the ends. It won't necessarily elongate your eye, but it will lift it a little bit, which as you get older, is helpful. Maybe not everybody wants to do that, but for the most part, most people want a lifted eye. All right, so I'm gonna take a very light pencil and put it on the inner lid, inner waterline. That's what I was looking for. I don't know why I could not think of that a minute ago. Be careful with it because I know a lot of people have very sensitive eyes, and I don't want you to like use something that's gonna irritate your eyes. Whatever it is that you use, make sure it's something that, you know, you don't have a problem with, like that feels comfortable for you. Now, the reason this works is because it mimics the color of your eyeball. So it makes it look like your eye is actually bigger than it is. You actually have to do another step after putting on the waterline. But you can see already that like your eye looks bigger because it looks like there's more white to it, which is why whitening eye drops work, by the way, which is why I use Lumify eye drops, because it whitens your eye, makes your eye look bigger. So now I'm gonna take a black liner. You can use any black liner you want. You can tightline if your eyes are more hooded. If your eyes are more hooded, don't draw a really thick line because it's gonna take up your entire lid. It's gonna make your eyes look smaller. So if you have a very heavy lid or a very small lid, I would recommend tight lining, which means that you go like this and you basically draw it like under your lashes. I would not recommend that for people who have like really sensitive eyes because it tends to bother your eyes. But I will say, if you have like a heavy lid, try to get as close to the lash line as you can because you want to make sure that it's not too thick because it will take up a lot of the space. But you do want to make it like a line that's something you can see. Now, if you look at the difference between this eye and this eye. This one's going to look a little rounder, right? But it doesn't look as like dramatic because you've got the black on the top and the white on the bottom. Wait to see with lashes. It looks even better. Now, with the white down here, you want to take, this was not what I wanted to grab. You want to take a little bit of your shadow, whatever shade you want, from the palette that you used, and go underneath the lash line with it. So you don't want to have just the white on the bottom, but you want to have on this, underneath that white, something that matches the shade above. You see the difference between the two eyes? Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing over on this side. Okay, there's the look. Now I will say, what will make your eye look even bigger is if you want to put on lashes, like a full set of lashes, not ones that are just on the outside of the eye. You don't want to, again, you're not trying to elongate, you're trying to make the eye look bigger. So a full set of lashes will definitely work. I don't do lashes, it's just not my thing. But I will say that if I put on mascara, you're gonna notice a drastic difference. So today we're gonna use the new mascara by Dior. This is the iconic Overcurl mascara, which is one of my favorite mascaras, but the shade is new. This is shade, what are they calling it? It's 664, and it's called, please hold, Brique, spelled B-R-I-Q-U-E. Anyway, it's interesting. It is brick colored. It's like a reddish orange. I don't know how this is gonna work on me, guys. I will be very honest. I don't really love colored mascara. I do like blue because it makes your eyes look even whiter. But this, I don't know how well this is gonna work. So we'll see if it gives you the same opening that black does. A black mascara is definitely gonna make your eyes look bigger and open. We'll see what this one does. I will say the formula seems the same. It's, you know, thick, but not too thick. It's good building mascara. It does lengthen, but I don't think it's gonna give you the same dramatic look that a black is going to. It's still gonna make your eye look bigger, but I don't know. One of the reasons that it works when you put on black mascara is the contrast. You know, it's so dramatic that it basically opens up, you know, the eye and makes it look bigger. This is doing a little bit of that though. I just don't think it's as dramatic because again, the shade blends a little bit more with the color that's on my lids instead of being a contrast. Okay, I mean, it definitely still opens up the eye, so it makes the eye look bigger. A little less dramatic than a black. Let's put a little bit on under the eye and see what. Yeah, I kind of like it for the bottom lashes a little more because it's not as, for the exact same reason, it's not as dramatic. It doesn't look red though. It does look like a brownish shade that has, it looks auburn. It looks like my hair actually. It's probably what my eyelashes would be colored if this was the natural color of my hair. Possibly. I know a lot of redheads have just brown, you know, eyelashes and brows, but yeah, I mean, it's a pretty shade. I would definitely call it, they call it brick, but I think auburn would be a fair assessment of the shade. I'll put a little bit on my hand so we can see it. Okay, mascara, no mascara. It definitely does open up the eye. Let me just show you the shade. I'll just take out a little bit of it and that's the shade. Let me do the other eye and then I'll put on a little bit of lipstick and then we'll talk final thoughts. Okay, back with mascara on. I think you can definitely see how it just opens up your eyes by doing the look this way. to elongate your eye, go back to the video that I did with the Silk Earth from Dior, and you can see how that pulls it out longer. I will, like I said, I'll do another video where I do, like, maybe I'll do the Pat McGrath, I'm not sure, but I will show you how to elongate it instead of making it look, you know, bigger this way. But I think that will be helpful going forward. I will try to like build in these specific tutorials into a review of a new makeup, shadow, blush, something, whatever. And I'll label it that way somewhere in the description. But the new Quint, yes, it's very, very pretty. I like it. However, this looks very, very, very reminiscent of Red Tartan and of Mitza. Even though when I swatched it out, the Mitza looked different, on the eye, it's close, and it's certainly close to the Red Tartan. I'm gonna have to go back and look at the look that I did with Red Tartan and see how different it really is. I bet you it's not that different. Yeah, or maybe I did two looks. I don't even remember at this point, but I'll tell you, it's a very warm color story. It's very pretty, but I don't think it's that different. It just looks so similar. Just in the pan, like just in the palette, it looks so similar to Red Tartan. Don't you think? I mean, it's close. And then I know, like we said, in the pan it looks different. And even in the swatches, it looks different than Mitza. But on the eye, I feel like we got a very similar look. And it's because I don't use a lot of the bright red in here. I focus on the shades that are just the warmer, you know, browns and orange. That's why it's a similar look, because I don't use that bright red very often. But again, yeah, I don't think it's that drastically different. Look, I have a feeling that we're gonna see a little bit of that, the similar color stories for Dior, because if we looked at Silk Earth and Wild Raffia, they look very iterative of earlier palettes. So this doesn't shock me. Will be interesting to see what the Mirror Mirror is like, because the Mirror Mirror does have that green in it, like that olive. Now that's not to say that no other Dior palette has ever had olive in it. They have, but it looked a little bit more unique to me. So I think the Mirror Mirror will be one that's more unique color story. We'll find out when I get it. By the way, the lipstick I'm wearing is the limited edition pink one, number 51, which is a sheer matte. So I think it goes very well because you've got that brick shade. I don't know what to say in regards to my advice about picking it up. Really depends on whether you don't have this color story already. I feel like I'm repeating myself from the Silk Earth. It's really nice. I really like this color story. It works well for me, except for the red. I don't really use a lot of the red, and I never will because it just doesn't look that good on me. But the warm, coppery brown, gold shades do look good on me. So I like the Quint. I don't think it's that different. I really wish that the Mirror Mirror was like all greens. It's got, you know, some green in it. I wish it was all green, but they're not asking me. So, we'll see what I think about it. The lipsticks and nail polishes, I don't know if I'm picking those up, to be honest with you. Plenty of lipsticks. I don't need any more. And nail polishes, I have plenty of those. So I'm more than likely, I'll definitely be picking up the green one, the Mirror Mirror, but I'm not sure what else I'll be getting from the collection. I think just that. The mascara, I love the Overcurl mascara. I think it's an excellent mascara. Any of you that are looking for like a dramatic curl brush mascara, it's really good mascara. The Brique shade, it's fine. It's basically a rusty brown. It's Brique. If you like something that's not as dramatic as a black, this might be for you. Will I wear it? Probably not that often. I either wear, you know, black mascara. I like a dramatic look on my lashes, or sometimes I do blue because it does give your eyes a little bit more whiteness to it. But, you know, other than that, and the foundation, again, wearing the foundation, this is definitely a much better shade for me. 2.5, perfect. You know, I do like the foundation. I'll have a video with the Hourglass versus the Lancome, see what we think. I think it's good. I just don't think it's my favorite. So that's my thoughts on that. And I want to thank you all for your excellent feedback. It was incredibly helpful. You're all fantastic. I want to thank all of you for your support, whether it's financial through using my links and being over on Patreon, or just by subscribing, watching, sharing. Honestly, all of that is absolutely fabulous. And I greatly appreciate all the people who wrote when I was talking about, you know, trying to do this individualized live or tutorial, said that, you know, just make sure you're taking care of yourself, make sure that you're not overextending yourself because you're important too. That was really very kind, and I greatly appreciate it. And I know there's a lot of, you know, I really want you to know that I appreciate you, and I appreciate the fact that you're so kind and supportive of the work that I do here. And I will be having giveaways. I've mentioned it before. I did do the Emile Corden one, but I have bigger giveaways and a lot of stuff coming. One of the things that I'm going to give away is a very large thing, but it's still not here yet. I ordered it I feel like I ordered it like 2 months ago, and I still don't have it, so I can't really talk about that. But I do have some Tom Ford things that I'm going to give away, and I'm going to be doing some Chantecaille give. There's a lot coming. So as a way to say thank you for all your support and for everything, seriously. So this wasn't as spicy as I thought it was going to be, although I did rant for a while in the middle there, but I will continue these where I at least go off on some kind of issue every once in a while, and you know, let me know if there are things that you want to see first as the fall things start dropping. So thanks so much for joining me today, guys. I really do appreciate it. I hope to see you in another video really soon.